Now, the chilling hour begins. Today you are going to watch the breakdown of the 1981 cult classic horror slasher movie, Night of the Scarecrow. Directed by Frank DeFelitta and penned by J.D. Feigelson, this film holds the distinction of being the inaugural horror feature to center a scarecrow as the protagonist. A lot of movies related to Scarecrow came after that, and then it became a separate category which continues till date. Hence its legacy is huge. Today you will watch the breakdown of a very important film in the history of horror cinema. I will tell you all the unheard facts related to it at the end. So let's quickly start the story without wasting much time. The story begins in a small town where we see a mentally challenged man named Bubba Ritter. Although his age is 36 years, his mind is like that of a child. He has only one friend in the whole town, Marilee, who is 6 years old. Both of them play together daily, which is not liked by some people of the town. On top of them is the town's mailman Otis Haslerack. He has tried threatening Bubba many times, but he did not listen to him, due to which he is becoming more and more angry. If he had his way, he would beat up Bubba and keep him away from Marilee. He is just not getting a chance. Seeing them together again, Otis goes to his farmer friend Harless's house to tell him that we have to do something about Bubba, but Bubba has not done anything wrong, so he cannot do anything. He is just waiting for Bubba to make the slightest mistake and we will beat him up and chase him away. You must be thinking that why Otis hates Bubba so much. The reason is Marilee. Actually, Otis is a pedophile. He has evil intentions towards Marilee. You will understand the rest yourself. This is the reason why he wants to finish off Bubba permanently. That is, he wants to kill him so that Marilee stays away from him. He has tried all other tricks, now he is just looking for a small reason which he is going to get soon. Because while playing there, Marilee went to the backyard of a house where there was a dog. The dog attacked her. Then Bubba broke the fence and quickly went inside to save her. But by then, the dog had already caused a lot of damage to her. Bubba took Marilee to his house. Seeing Marilee's condition, her mother was shocked, but Bubba was saying only one thing, that he did not do anything. When this news reached Harless, he went straight to Otis because he finally found the reason he was looking for. In fact, Harless even added spice to this news. He told Otis that Bubba killed Marilee. On hearing this, Otis took out his gun and set out to hunt for Bubba. He was not going to wait for the police. On the way, he gathered his friends who were Mechanic Skeeter and Farmer Philby. Taking along guns and dogs, they all started chasing Bubba. Bubba somehow managed to reach his home while dodging them. He told his mother, Mrs. Ritter, that they will kill him. This was nothing new for his mother because the people of the town keep chasing Bubba. If anything happens in the town, the first suspicion falls on Bubba. But this time she did not know that the matter is serious. She told Bubba that let's play a game of hiding. Then they took Bubba and hid him. When all four of them reached their house, Mrs. Ritter said that Bubba is not here. Otis was trying to enter the house, so Mrs. Ritter closed the door on his face, but they had dogs who were able to smell Bubba. So with the help of the dogs, they reached a field where there was a scarecrow, and when looked closely, it was revealed that it was Bubba disguised as a scarecrow. His mother had made him a scarecrow and hidden him here so that he could escape, but they caught him. Fear was clearly visible in Bubba's eyes. He also knew that something bad would happen to him now, but he had never imagined that something so bad was going to happen. The four neither asked him anything, nor listened to him. They simply shot Bubba badly, and even while dying he kept saying that he had not done anything. After killing him, the four were feeling very proud. Then someone contacts them through the truck's radio and tells them that Marilee is absolutely fine. A dog had attacked her. It is good that Bubba saved Marilee, otherwise who knows, something bad would have happened. Now who knows that they have already done something bad. The man speaking on the radio is the movie's writer, J.D. Feigelson. Well, their hearts should be torn with remorse after killing an innocent, but they are not feeling guilty at all. Rather, they want to cover up their crime so that they don't face any problems. For this, Otis put a pitchfork in Bubba's hand to say that Bubba attacked us, and then we fired in self-defense. That 221 bullets, think about it guys. These four were leaving from there when suddenly a very strong wind started blowing, a clear signal that they did wrong. Now they should admit his mistake and serve the sentence, but this did not happen. The case went to court where Bubba's lawyer Sam presented all his arguments that Bubba was harmless, but the pitchfork was brought in between. Then the judge asked Otis, "Did you ask Bubba to surrender?" Otis had sworn to tell the truth in court. Even then he lied blatantly. He said that we did not want to harm him. We first fired in the air, but when he attacked us 4 gun-wielding innocents with a pitchfork, then we were forced to fire in defense. We had to riddle him with 21 bullets. Wow, what a self-defense. And it does not seem to be any personal anger. 4 gunmen were self-defending against unarmed Bubba. What a joke. Here the judge had also become completely blind. According to him, what did anyone lose by Bubba's death? He had no contribution to the town, whereas these 4 are respectable people of this town. There is a mailman, farmers, mechanics. They cannot be punished. They are not criminals. The judge was also completely biased. That is why the verdict was very clear. All 4 were acquitted with honor. Unfortunately, Sam did not have any evidence against them, so he could not do anything. Hearing this verdict, Mrs. Ritter could not stop herself. She stood up and said in front of everyone that these are not respectable people but are Bubba's murderers. Sadly, friends, what did anyone lose by his death? But a mother lost her son who never did anything wrong to anyone. He paid the price of innocence with his life. The law could not give justice, but there is someone above the law who will definitely do justice. These were the painful words of his mother. Then she was also pushed out. Then these 4 came out laughing and playing. The town was cheering, but Sam told them clearly that I am not going to let you go. I will find the proof, but Otis doesn't care about that. He has to go party right now. All 4 went straight to have fun, but the strong winds were still blowing outside. Meanwhile, Marilee kept asking her mother that, "Where is Bubba? He saved my life." But her mother did not say anything. Then Marilee left the house alone at night and went straight to Bubba's house. She wanted to meet Bubba, but Mrs. Ritter could not tell her the truth. She said that Bubba has gone somewhere, and he will not come now. Hearing this, Marilee left the house and reached the same cross where Bubba was killed. She tells Mrs. Ritter that Bubba has not gone anywhere. He is just playing hide and seek. After a few days, when Harless was fixing his wood chipper machine, he sees that a scarecrow was standing in his field, that too in the same clothes in which Bubba was killed. Seeing this, Harless got worried. In a hurry, he went straight to Skeeter and Philby. And as soon as he went, he said that "Stop joking with me," but both of them did not know anything. Then the 3 of them reached Otis, who was sitting in his room and drinking comfortably, whereas the whole town thinks that poor Otis does not drink at all, meaning that the image of him in front of the town is completely fake. Anyway, after spraying in his mouth, he met the 3 of them, and he told them that Sam is doing all this. He wants to scare us so that we accept our crime, so all of you do not panic, go to your respective homes and do not come here again. When Harless got drunk and reached home at night, he saw that the scarecrow was missing. However, he heard some noises coming from inside the stockyard, so he went to check. He saw that the wood chipper machine was on. He switched off the machine and climbed up to check. Then mysteriously the machine turned on again and Harless fell into it and was crushed into small pieces. The next morning, Otis was having a nice breakfast with ketchup when he got to know that Harless also fell into the machine and was crushed and become ketchup. He quickly reached Harless's house and saw that Sam was also present there. Then at night, the 3 had a meeting about how Harless died. Otis said that it was just an accident. But both of them believe that someone deliberately wants to kill us. Someone who knows our truth that this was not an accident, but a murder. The biggest proof of this is the machine shutting down after Harless died. Who shut down the machine? According to Otis, the machine must have run out of fuel, but he cannot say this for sure. So the 3 reached Harless's stockyard, and after reaching there, they found out that the machine was full of fuel, meaning someone had shut down the machine, the same person who had turned it on. But according to Otis, that person could be Sam or Mrs. Ritter. Friends, now in her old age will she do all this? This is ridiculous. Still, the next day, Otis reached their house and found Marilee there, who ran away from there after looking at Otis with disgust. Otis warned Mrs. Ritter that we killed one and you killed the one. Now finish it here, the score is settled. So Mrs. Ritter replies to him that the account is yet to be settled. You all will have to pay for what you have done. She immediately exposed Otis that you have evil intentions towards Marilee. Go away from here. Hearing this, Otis started walking back quietly, and meanwhile, the next number was also drawn, because now that Scarecrow had come in Philby's field, and Philby's heart is already weak, but yes, his heart does not become weak while taking someone's life. That is a different matter. At night there was a Halloween party going on in the church where all the children of the town were present, so Otis also reached there to meet Marilee. He wanted to know the truth about Mrs. Ritter from her mouth, but Marilee turned his world upside down She said that I know that you killed Bubba, and Bubba himself told me this. Saying this, she ran away. Otis also went after her, but an officer stopped him in between. He was forced to return to the party, and then both the scoundrels came to him. Then all three reached Philby's field, but by then the Scarecrow had disappeared. There, Skeeter and Philby, out of fear, give Otis a choice that either he does something to save their lives, otherwise we will surrender to the police. Then friends, all their fake image will be shattered in front of the town. Hearing this, Otis reached Mrs. Ritter's house in doubt, and said while gagging her that, "This is the last time I am warning you not to play this game of death with us. Stop it." But this frightened her so much that she got a heart attack and she died on the spot. Seeing this, Otis was left breathless. He was running out of the house in a hurry when he saw the kettle kept on the stove, and a horrifying idea came to his mind. He leaked gas in the house and blew up the whole house, and made Mrs. Ritter's death look like an accident. The next morning, Marilee sees that Bubba's house has been burnt. Everyone else was considering it an accident, but Sam still had full doubts whether it was an accident or not. Within a week, both mother and son were killed. Now these three thought that they were saved, but it was not so. At night, Philby was in his grain mill when he heard some sound from outside. He went and saw that it was a chain. He was going back laughing when he saw that someone had switched off the office lights. He did not want to take any risk, so he quietly sat in the car and started leaving from there. But the car did not start. Then he ran and hid in a tank. Someone came to him outside, but he had locked the door, so he went back. But while going, he locked the door from outside. Then suddenly the machine started and all the grain started falling inside the tank. Philby tried a lot to save himself, but in the end, he died by getting buried under the grain. When Skeeter got the news of his death, he got ready to go to the police, but Otis did not let him go. To calm him down, Otis told him that all this is Bubba doing. Actually, he did not die, and Marilee told me this. Yes, would he have survived even after being shot 21 times? What a joke. Well, Skeeter had to confirm this, so at night both of them reached Bubba's grave and after digging the grave, opened his coffin. Both were stunned because Bubba's dead body was there. This increased the panic even more because Skeeter started thinking that maybe Bubba's spirit is doing all this. He was running to the police when Otis stopped him and said that he knew who was doing this, that is Marilee. But Skeeter was not getting influenced by him anymore, so in frustration Otis felt like strangling him to death, but he did not do so. He said that okay, we will go to the police and tell everything, but first fill the grave. As soon as Skeeter went to close the coffin, Otis hit the shovel on the head and buried him in the grave. After this, he was going towards home while drinking, when he saw Marilee on the way. While chasing her, he crashed the car, but he did not stop. While chasing her, he reached the pumpkin field and caught Marilee and started blaming her as well. Then the bulldozer standing in front started and we could see that there was no driver inside it. It was moving on its own, that is, all this happened. Bubba's spirit is really doing the bulldozing. He started chasing Otis and kept chasing him. In the end, Otis collided with the same Scarecrow, and that was his last time, because the pitchfork that he had given him entered his stomach and became the reason for his death. Perfect circle, right? He died in a state of shock. Marilee was hiding and someone came to her, and that was Bubba. He gave Marilee a flower in return of which Marilee thanked him. Marilee started telling him which game they would play tomorrow, and with this the movie ended. In 1981, Dark Night of the Scarecrow was a standout film that captivated audiences without relying on gore or killings. Its engaging atmosphere from the outset kept viewers intrigued, eager to discover the fate of the antagonists and the deliverance of justice. Interestingly, the Scarecrow itself appears only at the conclusion, not as a killer, but presenting flowers, adding a necessary mysterious touch to the film's tone. This approach was pioneering, as it was the first of its kind. 7 years later, in 1988, a film titled Scarecrows was released, sparking a trend of similar movies. These two films laid the foundation for modern Scarecrow-themed horror. In 2022, after 41 years, a direct-to-DVD sequel emerged, crafted by the original writer J.D. Feigelson. However, this sequel is currently not widely available. So let's talk about interesting facts. Originally, this movie was going to be made for theaters, but its script was bought by CBS. Then some changes were made, after which this movie was released directly on TV on CBS channel. That too, a little before Halloween of 1981. It was shot in 17 days. one day of which the shooting had to be stopped because a fire broke out. Writer J.D. Feigelson went to Texas and recorded the sounds of cicadas which were used in the night scenes in the film. All the night scenes were shot. Night to night means one scene was shot in 2-3 days, or you can say in nights. J.D. Feigelson saw the name Otis Hazelrek on a sign, and he liked that name so much that he gave it to the main character of the movie. Otis means Charles Durning did most of his stunts himself. In the end, when there was a bulldozer chase scene in which a stunt double in shorts was used whose hair was a little dark. You can easily tell that Otis never wore anything else in the entire movie except his uniform. He was always on duty. Strother Martin was originally supposed to play Otis, but he died before the shooting started. Then Charles Durning got the role, but some of the lines that he spoke were suggested by Martin, and even after his death, Mrs. Ritter was played by Jocelyn Brando, who was Marlon Brando's elder sister. While shooting Bubba, 3 out of 4 guns did not work. Till 2024, Marilee and Skeeter means Tanya Crowe and Robert F. Lyons are the 2 actors of this movie who are still alive. The surprising coincidence is that in the film, out of the 4 killers, Harless was the first to die. In real life too, the first to die out of the 4 actors was Len Smith, who played Harless. It was not mentioned in the film, but Philby's full name was George Philby, and Bubba's real name was Charles Elliott Ritter. Bubba's role was played by Larry Drake, and Bubba was a mentally challenged man. In 1986, a TV series called L.A. Law was released. In that too, Larry played the role of a mentally challenged man named Benny. Even in the second episode of Tales from the Crypt, Larry played the role of a mentally challenged person who enters a house dressed as Santa Claus. You must remember that. So these were some unheard facts. I hope you liked it. If you liked the video, then please like it and comment which movie story you would like to see. To see more such unique videos, subscribe to the channel and set the bell notification to all so that you don't miss the incoming notifications. So, the chilling hour ends here.